This video is a tale of two Wengers. Stick around and I'll show you all of the details. I'll explain where I got them from and also why I'm showing these to you. Let's start by looking at the smaller one. So this is the Commander, and it's a nice little Wenger. If you didn't know, Wenger were a Swiss Army knife company similar to Victorinox. They were taken over by Victorinox, and Victorinox have gradually been phasing out the Wenger series. There are still some left. These two have both been discontinued. But let's take a close look. Now, I will say that I only recently got these and I got them from a flea market. I haven't really cleaned them up yet. So if there's a bit of crud on them, it's not from me, it's from the previous owners. So the other thing is I will be washing my hands afterwards. So let's just have a look around this. This is 85 millimeters and it's 13 millimeters thick. Should we start with the back tools? So there's the obligatory corkscrew. So I know some people don't like these, but you can do a lot with a corkscrew. And you don't have to take my word for it. Check out Felix Imler's videos on it. And then as well as that, and you can see it has an easy access to the awl as well. And the awl is a little bit different to the Victorinox, different shape, nice big nail nick, still quite pointy, a nice awl there. You can also see the key ring as well. Then the scale tools. So there are the tweezers, which are all metal. And I quite like these. The only thing is they face into the middle of the knife. Let's see if we can get that in focus. So they can be a little bit more difficult to pull out. And then on the other side, there's a toothpick. A bit shorter than the normal Victorinox one. It has a bump in it as well to help hold it in. And again, that you have to get it from the inside. So if you haven't got nails, then you're in trouble. So that's the scales. You can probably just about make out the Wenger name on there as well, and the different shaped Swiss shield. Looking at the tools, so this is a 2-layer, and let's start with the can opener. So pretty fearsome looking, and I imagine this is quite good for opening packages as well. So this is the typical Wenger, more old-fashioned looking can opener. I quite like it though because it's different. And then on the other side we have the flathead screwdriver, the cap lifter and the wire bender, similar to on Victorinox. So they're the front tools. Then behind that we have the main blade. And let's take a closer look at the tang stamp on this. Can you see that okay? There we go. So it says Wenger, Dallemont, Switzerland, and then below that, I'm not sure we're going to see it, but below that it says stainless. So yeah, so this is a bit grubby, but it's in pretty good condition actually. It doesn't look like it's been sharpened much, if at all. I don't think it's had a lot of use. You can see the normal blade, it's a spear point blade, and it has a sharpening choil as well. And then at the back, instead of a secondary blade, we have a nail file and nail cleaner. So quite useful that. So that is the Commander. 2-layer and a nice little Swiss Army knife. Probably similar to the Spartan, I guess, but without the secondary blade. Or is it maybe the Sportsman, I think. Anyway, I'm sure somebody in the comments will put me right. Now let's move on to this one. So this is a 4-layer, and this is the Frester. And you can probably guess why. So again, The back tools, we have the corkscrew and the awl. I won't bother getting those out, but we've seen them. Now the keyring is interesting because it has this little chain on it as well. So that's perfect if you put it onto a clip and you want to hang it in your pocket. It's good to have a bit of distance from the keys as well. If you are going to put keys on there, it makes it more usable. In the same way, it has the tweezers and the toothpick. And this is one of the problems with these. They're not so easy to get out. Let me see if I can do it with the tweezers. I think this might be because it's a little bit older. It's had a bit of wear on that. So there's a toothpick. I certainly wouldn't use it because I don't know where it's been. Anyway, those are the scale tools, and we've covered the back tools. So let's start from the front. As with the Commander, the two front tools, and you can see these are a bit grubby, I need to clean them up, are the can opener and the cap lifter flathead wire bender. Then next, and we have to open this from the other side, we have a saw. And I think the saw is quite interesting actually. It's a fair bit different from the Victorinox one. And let me just grab one to compare. So if we look at the size, now this is slightly bigger, but this is the Ranger, the Victorinox Ranger. So compared to the Forester, yeah, it is a slightly bigger knife. But if you look at the teeth, you can see that the Victorinox has a lot more teeth. Both are quite well spaced. Both are set up to make sure they don't get stuck. And if you look at them, the good thing is that with each of them is that the back is more narrower than the front where the teeth are. So that means it's not likely to get stuck. I think I prefer the Victorinox way of opening, where the saw blade just slightly overhangs. With this one, you have to find the nail nick. So you really need nails to open this. But apart from that, it's a really good saw. I have tried it out and it cuts pretty well. Not quite as well as the Victorinox, but pretty well. So that's the saw. Next, we have the scissors. And these scissors are a little bit different. And what's interesting is that you think they're going to be really floppy until you open them out. And then I think the scissors engage onto a back spring. And you've got some really nicely sprung scissors there. And let's see if we can get a close-up on the blades. Can you see that? So the other thing is that the scissor blades are serrated. Now let's find a bit of paracord to try this out on. Here we go. So let's try it out. So in theory, the serrations should help it snip. They just seem to be getting a bit stuck. Oh, that's it. So not so good near the end. They're not snippy, but if you can get the paracord down at the bottom of the scissors, it cuts a bit better. Let's give it another try. Okay, so a little bit snippy. So comparing it with the Ranger, these are the Victorinox scissors. These are much more snippy, both at the end and down there. So yeah, I'd say that the Victorinox are much more snippy as scissors. So back to the Wenger. So that's the scissors, and then the main blade, pretty much as per the Commander actually. Hopefully you can see the tang stamp. So that's the main blade, and then just as with the Commander, instead of a secondary blade, and this is a bit grubby, I need to clean this up. Here we have the nail file and nail cleaner. So I only got these a week ago, so I haven't had a chance to clean them yet, but I thought they might be interesting to show you. That's the Frester and the Commander. So why am I showing you these two knives, especially as they're discontinued? Well, first of all, they're great Swiss Army knives. I'm a big Victorinox fan, so this was my first chance to get a couple of Wengers. Now, secondly, they may be discontinued, but they're still available on the secondary market. And one of the benefits of that is that you might bag a bargain. So check out your local antique fairs or flea markets. That's if you're in the UK. If you're in the US, you can maybe check out pawn shops or thrift shops as well. Unfortunately, in the UK, our charity shops or thrift shops don't sell knives. And similarly, you can't get them on eBay in the UK. So antique fairs or flea markets are the place to go. So they may be discontinued, but they're still around and they're still great knives. Hope you found this interesting. Please leave a comment. What do you think about Wenger compared to Victorinox? Have you got one of these models yourself? Let me know. I'd be really interested to hear. If you like this sort of content, why not check out this video or this playlist? Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.